What if I told you that one of the biggest threats to your business is something that you're doing in secret? In this video, we'll break down how corn is silently ruining your productivity and growth and what you can do about it. Now, a quick disclaimer, this video is not just for people who own farming businesses. Hopefully when I say corn, you understand what I mean. This applies to all entrepreneurs that are struggling with this kind of explicit content. So let's talk about the real cost of watching explicit material online, because actually when we get into it, it's shocking. Now, the first thing and the most important resource that every single business owner has is their time. And as your business and your wealth grow, your time starts to become more valuable. So let's talk some numbers. Let's say your business profited $500,000 last year and you worked 50 hours a week. That means that 1 hour of your time is worth about $200. Now, the average man watches about 3 times a week and the average visit is about 11 minutes long. Now, that's per website, so it could be even more than that, but we'll just go with 3 visits per week. 11 minutes each visit. What we know is that it's not just about the watch time itself. There's always a lead up and there's always a cool down period after you watch as well. So let's say each visit costs you 20 minutes altogether. So in 1 week, the average guy spends 1 hour viewing explicit content. Now again, if we go back to your hourly rate, that means that you're spending about $200 a week or $10,000 a year on explicit material online. So there is a major cost here. And as that number gets bigger, your profit amount, the amount it's costing you gets bigger as well. Every single minute and day and hour that you spend watching is going to become more and more costly as you grow and as your wealth grows. But unfortunately, neither of those things are going to grow if you keep watching. And we know this because we also know that watching corn costs you energy. Now, as a business owner, we all know what it's like when you are in the zone. You're clear and you're focused and you're super productive and you're making good decisions and you're getting your work done, and not just getting it done, but you're getting it done at a high quality. We all know that feeling. Well, corn usage is shown to cause brain fog, poor decision making, and the inability to focus. For the average person, this is a huge problem, but for a business owner, this is devastating. Now, you might be thinking, my business has done fine even though I've been watching corn. I don't think this applies to me. Well, let me ask you this. Are you in business to simply do fine? Is that your goal? Or do you want to be your absolute best and build a business that changes the world? How much bigger and more impactful would your business be if you hadn't given so much energy to all the corn that you've watched over the years? I bet you'd be a lot further ahead. Now, a lot of the pros won't talk about this part of the conversation, but we need to go here if we really want to address this subject properly, and that is relationships. A business mentor of mine told me that the fastest way to cut your net worth in half is to get divorced. Just ask Bill Gates, Bezos, etc., etc. 80% of divorces that are initiated by the woman cite their partner's use of corn as the main reason or one of the main reasons. Corn ruins marriages, and tons of entrepreneurs have lost it all and had to start all over again because they ultimately lost their marriage, they lost their net worth, they lost their momentum, and they basically lost their livelihood because it destroyed their relationship. A lot of people ignore this one, but don't underestimate the downstream effects that watching corn has on your relationships. This is serious stuff, especially if you're a business owner. Now, I'm sure you get the idea. This is having a huge impact on your life. Your business could be further ahead. You could probably be further ahead in your financial goals. Let's talk about what you can do about your situation. Now, for starters, entrepreneurs have a couple things working in their favor when it comes to quitting corn addiction. The first thing is that you're goal-oriented. You wouldn't have made it this far if you didn't know how to achieve your goals. Also, entrepreneurs know how to follow systems and processes, or they at least understand the value of them. Entrepreneurs are very coachable, especially if they trust the person who is leading them. And chances are, if you're an entrepreneur, that you're driven to get results quickly. You will put the work in if you know it's going to get you your outcome as quickly as possible. So these things are all working in your favor. Now, this is a double-edged sword because as an entrepreneur, you have a couple challenges that you're going to have to be aware of as well. The reality is most of the ways that you've achieved your goals in the past, which has been brute force, out-competing and outworking everybody else, doesn't really work in a recovery context. You need to have a counterintuitive approach to this. Otherwise, you're going to end up stuck for a really, really long time. The second part is preserving your anonymity. Now, this is not going to be applicable to all business owners, but the reality is there might be an identity that you want to protect if you're going to go through recovery. And at the same time, a lot of the recovery research suggests that you're participating in communities, forming relationships with other people, etc., etc. Now, for this one, you want to make sure you're working with somebody who's experienced working with business owners. They will have plenty of solutions in this area. This one can be solved quite easily. And the last thing to guard against as an entrepreneur is ego inflation, because let's not kid ourselves. Sometimes as business owners, we can let our egos get in the way. We're proud of our accomplishments. We think we got it figured out, and we can get ahead of ourselves too quickly, and then we end up falling flat on our faces. So this is something you really need to guard against when you're in recovery. And again, if you have a seasoned professional, somebody who understands how to work with business owners, they're going to be able to help you make sure that you don't make these mistakes. So if you want to take one step towards quitting today, here's what I would recommend. Number one, you want to make sure that you populate your algorithm with useful content. So go and follow all the accounts and all the channels and all the subscriptions that you know are hindering you in this area. Start to follow content and channels and people and places that are going to actually help you grow and keep you on the right path. The second thing is to ask yourself why. You need to be motivated, right? This is how entrepreneurs get stuff done. They have a goal. They have some sort of achievement or accomplishment in mind. What is that thing for you? That needs to be clearly articulated so that you're actually motivated to pay the price and to do what it takes to quit successfully. And the last thing is, if you're ready to get some professional help, find somebody that you trust. It's so important for business owners that you trust the people that you're getting into partnerships with. That's kind of what this process is as well for a business owner that's in recovery. Make sure you find somebody that you trust so that they will lead you to that place of freedom as successfully as possible. Now that you know the truth, it's time to take some action. If you're ready to break free from corn and start achieving your business goals, I've got a powerful resource for you. Click the link in the description to get started.